How's it going, everyone? I'm Chase Lee reporting for DallasMovieScreens.com, and I got another movie to report for you guys, and that would be The Bronze. Now, listen, I was kind of looking forward to this movie. It stars Melissa Rauch, who is on The Big Bang Theory, which is one of my brother's favorite shows. I've never been a huge fan of it. I mean, it's fine or whatever, and she's kind of annoying with her voice and everything. So I was excited to see her kind of branch out of that and kind of do something a little bit normal and stuff. And so The Bronze, the plot reads as this. Melissa Rauch's character was she was a gymnast, and she ended up getting the bronze at one of the Olympics one year, and she's just kind of a mess. She's in her hometown. She clings on to that fame, and she's kind of bratty, and still is with her dad and stuff, and she just has to kind of grow up and move on after one of her coaches has passed on, so she has to train the newest Olympian in her town, and kind of, hurts her to do it, but, she has to do it. So what did I think of The Bronze? I thought it was rough at first, but got really good towards the end. So let's get real and break this down. Let's start with the writing and directing. Now, it's written by Winston and Melissa Rauch, and they're husband and wife, and I thought what they created was a very interesting premise, focusing on an athlete that didn't really get the gold, even though you got the bronze, which is like the third best in the world, but it still messes with you psychologically because you train all that time just to get third place. And so I get it. It's the competitive nature of the sport, and sports in general. Competitive nature in anyone can be very, very fierce and aggressive, and that's what this type of person is. Now, I enjoyed the story. Now, let's look at the humor. Now, this is played out as like a raunchy comedy, and I got to tell you, the humor only hit about 60% with me, about 40% not. The appeal is that Melissa Rauch is so sweet on Big Bang Theory that she's super raunchy in this movie, which she is, and she's got some pretty good zingers, but I didn't find it to be like really that funny. It's all relying on her with these quips that she kind of like throws out every now and again, but there's a lot more heart to the story than the movie leads on. But I just think with that tonal inconsistency, it kind of brings the movie down a grade for me. Now, the characters. Here's where I had the roughest problem with this movie. Now, Melissa Rauch lives with her dad, like I said, and she's a bronze medalist, and she stays in her hometown, and she's like in her 20s in the movie, or like her 30s or whatever. She's a grown woman. She acts super bratty at the very beginning of the movie, and it was really hard to get on her side. It was really hard to like her in any way, shape, or form. I just couldn't get into her. I actually didn't get into her character until like midway through the movie, when I was like, okay, there's something there. It just took a while to kind of blossom, if you will. So her character is super unlikable at the beginning. It was super just bratty, and I was like, oh man, this is so annoying. I was like, Gary Cole, who plays her dad in the movie, I was like, how do you keep up with this? Like, you need to just kick her out of the house. So in that regard, it was extremely rough, because when it started, I was like, oh man, is this what the whole movie's gonna be like? But I started to become more sympathetic with her, and like towards the very, very end, I was like, oh wow, she's actually the good guy. So yeah, so I appreciated her character towards the end, her character arc, but at the very beginning, it was just so unlikable for me. I just couldn't really get into it. But directing wise, I think this is a very solid movie for sure. It's a good enough story to be heartfelt. There's some funny zingers in there, and it is very entertaining to see Melissa Rauch just kind of curse, just flaunting everywhere and just kind of going for it. So I appreciate that. And there's also a very, very funny sex scene that's played with two people in the movie, and I'm not gonna say who, but there's a lot of gymnastics type of sex positions and stuff, and I was like, it's pretty creative as far as a sex scene goes in a comedy. So that's what I think of the writing and directing. Let's get into the acting. Now, Melissa Rauch is the person you go see this movie for. I think she does a very good job. She's very committed, and she kind of goes for it, like I said. But it's just her character I do not like in the first half of the movie, and it took a while for me to get into it. The supporting cast is really good too. I like Gary Cole as the kind of like dad who just loves her daughter, or loves his daughter and stuff, and he can't let it go. And then eventually I'm not gonna say, I shouldn't spoil, but like he kind of flips on her at one point in the movie. But Sebastian Stan's also in this. He plays the Winter Soldier in the Marvel movies and stuff, and he was so cocky in this. He was so douchey, and I loved it. I was like, he fit this role pretty well. So I do like the supporting characters and stuff. Cecily Strong's in this. She doesn't really have a big part, though. And I forgot the actress's name, but she plays the gymnast that Melissa Rauch coaches in the movie. And she's good, but she can be unlikable as well. But like I said, I don't spoil anything on here, so I keep it 100, keep it fresh and clean. I'm never going to speak like that again. So cinematography-wise, it's a well-shot movie. There's nothing wrong with it in terms of the way it's lit or shot or anything. It's quite good-looking. But there is one shot at the very end of the movie where it's like this really cool, like kind of dolly shot, and it kind of like slowly comes in on her character and stuff while it's crossing a gymnastics floor or whatever, and you just kind of see the look in her face and stuff. And I was like, that was the character moment for me. I was like, okay. Like, she had a pretty good arc, and I enjoy her character now. So there are some shots like that, that get like really deep. But like I said, sometimes it doesn't really work well with the raunchy humor and stuff. And I just kind of wish it was just delivered and balanced a lot better in terms of if you want to go the whole raunchy comedy route, that's fine. But if you want to have heart with it, that's also fine. You just have to mesh it well together. I also forgot to mention Thomas Medalist is in this. He's the main character off of Silicon Valley. He's good as well. Sorry. Editing-wise, the movie's about an hour and a half, and even though her character's unlikable, I can admit it kind of gets slow at the beginning because you just want to get out of there. It's like, oh my God, I do not want to sit through this. But as the movie progressed and stuff, it was weird. Like, I found her very watchable. I was like, I kind of just want to watch her character and see what the hell comes out of her mouth and all this stuff. So I enjoyed it on that aspect, and I did find there was a lot more heart to the movie than what is presented. I just wish it was balanced a lot more, and I do like her character in the second half, and I kind of wish they would have played on that more instead of more of the bratty side, even though I totally get that, and it does play with her character, but it was just too much. They should have reined it back just a little bit. But I still think it's a solid watch, and I think you should see this for sure. If you just want to watch something different this weekend, you want to have a different movie experience than a big blockbuster, you want to see a smaller movie, I suggest check this one out. It's not one of my favorites one of the year, but I still liked it overall. Even with the issues, I'm going to give the Bronze a C+. I still think it's watchable, and I think you guys should watch it if you are curious about it. So, what do you guys think of the Bronze? Have you seen it? Have you even heard of it? Comment in that place, rub my face, and let me know. And I kind of want to see Melissa Rauch do some more movies like this. She completely just takes that letter in and puts it in her name, and she is Melissa Rauch in this movie because she is off the walls. And that was an awful joke, and I'm going to sign off with that. So I'm Chase Lee, and I'm reporting for DallasMovieScreens.com, and tune in next time for whatever I review next with less crappy jokes. I can't promise that.